Hello. Oh, I wonder if that was loud on their computer.
Sorry.
So, can you guys guess what this video is about? Let's give them a minute.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, so basically this one is just going to be how to do a basic offering ritual to La Santisima Muerte if you don't have...
Speak up.
I'm right by the camera.
Mm-hmm. So speak up. Yeah, you have a tendency to talk very soft.
Oh. I can't help it. I have a delicate voice.
I am a delicate flower.
I am a delicate flower.
Okay, so sorry. Back on topic.
Where was I? You made me forget where I was.
How to do all offering.
Oh, this is how to do a basic offering with La Santisima Muerte. Whether you have some experience or not really any experience. Whenever you first start working with La Santisima Muerte, like always, I recommend starting with the white. Personally, I just have the 3 white, red, and black here for today. However, if you're first starting out, always start with the white. This is her more quote-unquote motherly aspect. So this is one of the kinder, more gentler, more protective aspects. Things to offer with this aspect would be things that have a floral scent, whether it's incense, perfume, sprays, things like that. I noticed this aspect really likes Florida water. However, you can use siete machos with all 3 aspects, though this one works really well with her black aspect and her red aspect, because this one can be used for money drawing as well as love drawing and basic consecrations as well. Now, whenever working this ritual, you're going to want to make sure that with holy water, you've cleansed the statue and you've blessed it to be Santisima Muerte, so that way there's not a fake spirit inhabiting it, pretending to be her, which happens a lot with some people when they don't do that.
Mm-hmm. I've seen lots of stories about it.
Yeah. So with that, whenever I do it, I make sure I cleanse it first, usually with Florida water, and then with the holy water, I'll anoint crosses on the head, the heart, and the feet, as well as a few other places to make sure that it's consecrated to be her solely, and then anoint her with her oils and pass her through her incense, or some people will fumigate her with cigars, which is really common. But that's just the way that I do it, and I give an offering of a candle with it.
What type of prayers are said when doing the consecration?
It's going to vary on which approach you take, though typically I recommend taking the Catholic approach until you're a little bit more accustomed to her energy. And also making the protection charm with St. Michael, which is basically your picture between 2 prayer cards with his candle on top, asking for him to protect you as you embark on your journey with Santisima. Because a lot of people, if they're not acquainted with death current energy, then they sometimes get really depressed. Some people get borderline suicidal to full-on suicidal. Other people just can't take it, and they go through very, very trying times. Now, so after the amparo is made, then what you can do is, anytime that you approach the altar, I still recommend doing 3 Our Fathers. And then after that, you can call out to her. There's a really good prayer if you're wanting to stick, with going towards a little bit more pagan, because some people say you need to ask permission from God. I never did. I never had any bad experiences. But then again, I'm not you. I don't know. There was another prayer in Grimoire of Santisima Muerte by Sofia de Gregorio, and that invocation was like, by the powers of the earth, by the virtues of air, I think it's actually, no, it wasn't on there. By the virtues of water, and I think the inspiration of fire, I call to you, most holy Santisima Muerte. And then you can begin to call upon her presence. La Niña Blanca, you who are of the dead, you who watch over us, I pray and beseech your help and assistance, and I ask that you come here and accept and partake of these offerings which I give freely and with love to you. And in return, I ask to be blessed by thine presence, gifted with your grace, protected by you, until the day that we meet and you, as a sweet death, takes me away from here. So it sounds a little bit morbid, but this is just one way of doing it. When I first started, I did that following a personal prayer, and then after that, I can't remember it now because I haven't used it in years, but back then I used the Glory Be, which you can find on like the Catholic websites. I think it's on their main website. I wonder if the Vatican runs it. Side question. So I used to do 3 glory bees, and then I would go on to presenting the offerings. Now, whenever you're presenting offerings, I always recommend giving water. With Santisima Muerte, I always started by adding 3 drops of holy water to make sure it went solely to her. However, sometimes she does show up with other dead entities with her. This isn't always the case, but sometimes she does. And I always give 3 breaths into the water. And then present it to La Santisima Muerte. La Niña Blanca, mi Santisima Muerte, the most holy death of my heart, you who wear the white robes and grant protection and cleansing and blessings upon those who seek your assistance in this world, you who watch over us all until it is your time to take us from this mortal coil, I pray and ask, O La Santisima Muerte, the most holy death of my heart, my sweet girl, accept this offering of water, so that the thirst from the other side always be quenched. And through this water of which you take, grant signs of fortune and favor, and of warnings to come of ill things and ill prayers and wishes. Ave la Santisima Muerte. And then you can go on to offering incense. So I usually do incense before the candle because I will run a candle through incense smoke. Usually with a lot of people you'll see it's always going to be like the 7-day candles. However, I found that it still works with household candles, chime candles, tea light candles, votive candles. The act itself is from the offering, showing that you're actually making an effort, that you're truly wanting to speak with her on some level. And when performing these offerings for the first time, don't start asking for things.
Mm-hmm.
I would recommend at least 1 to 3 weeks of regular offerings before you even begin to think about asking for anything.
Get to know the girl.
Yeah, you got to get to know her. It's almost like whining and dining. Because you're not going to go up to a stranger on the street and be like, hey girl, I need your help. They're going to look at you like, I don't know you, bye. But it's not that she's going to deny you. It's more about courtesy. You don't want to seem like that bad guest at a party. I like to think of it like life is a party. We're all guests, and she's kind of like the host because she's the one who tells you when you gotta go.
Seriously, straight up. That's like some fortune cookie.
That's some fortune cookie realness. So this was originally a bottle from a yerberia. However, once it went empty, aka I poured it out, I mixed my own oil and put it in here just because I like these bottles and it had her image on it. Now with this, I just like to smell it. No, I'm just kidding. Where's the lighter? Oh. I like to give the offering of incense. O most holy Santisima Muerte, you who are known by the name Micte Casiqua, I pray that you accept this offering of fire and air. And in doing so, my prayers be lifted up to you into the world beyond that which is physical. O most holy death of my heart, I pray that you hear my prayers and accept this offering of incense smoke, so sweet and made for you. Ave la Santisima Muerte, Ave Micte Casiqua. And that is the offering of the incense. Like I said, start off with the Catholic version with La Santisima Muerte. Micte Casiqua is older Aztec form of the goddess of death in the land of the dead, in the land of Mictlan. So I would recommend working with her for about 6 months in the Catholic style to get acquainted with her, because sometimes it gets even more in-depth with the sensation if you're still not accustomed to the energy. And now, from this part, I will dress the candle. This is white to match the robes of the white Santisima Muerte. And so I dress it from the base going up to show that the offering of energy is building and growing. So that way it'll be pleasing to the skinny lady, to the pretty lady. Make sure that you get it all over the candle. And pass it with the smoke, so that way, because this is a Santisima Muerte incense, so that way it'll carry over even more of the scent, even more of the charge from this offering, so it fuels on and continues to be stronger within the offering that you're going to give to her with the candlelight. The candlelight is like the fire of life. It shows the life continued. It shows honor, it shows dignity, and it shows gratitude that's always burning within the heart of the one who prays to her. And then again, like the water, I like to breathe on the candle 3 times as a showing that I'm giving of myself to honor her. In the name of the white lady, the red lady, and the black, Santisima Muerte Mexico, I charge this candle to be an offering unto you, as a burning flame of my gratitude, as a burning flame of my love for you, and my gratitude for all the blessings you have given me, you are giving me, and will give me in the future. Ave la Santisima Muerte. Amen. Tapped it 3 times to represent her 3 colors, even though this is going as offering to the white. And then I always melt the bottom so that way it's secure.
Is it amethyst incense?
Yeah.
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 Her scents always have there's a similar underlaying with all of them.
Yeah, it's like she uses the same base for most of her incense.
Yeah.
But they smell good.
Mm-hmm.
And now... Oh, there's already bubbles forming. From this point, I will light the candle. Ave, la Niña Blanca. With this candle burning bright, both in day and in night, I give offering and praise to the skinny lady, and I ask that you accept these offerings, and that you see the gratitude that flows ever from my heart unto you. I give gratitude for another day of life. I give thanks for my family, my friends, loved ones, both on this side and on the other side. I give offering and praise to La Santisima Muerte. Thank you for your protection as we go about our days. Thank you for protection of those who are trampled upon by others. And I pray that you continue to protect us. Protect those with magic in our hearts and lives. Protect those of us who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender as we continue walking through this world. Protect those in the hard places who seek your assistance. And I pray that the blessings befall not only me or my loved ones, but those who truly suffer and seek you with an open heart. Ave la Santísima Muerte, en el nombre de la roja, la blanca y la negra. Amen.
She's here.
Mm-hmm. Girl, welcome back. I have her a cigarette too.
Okay, if that's not a sign, I don't know what is.
Thanks, skinny girl.
It's like, raise the roof.
Mm-hmm. It's been a while. It got hot in here.
It did.
And then from this point, usually what I'll do is meditate. You can do this with your rosary, which we talked about in a previous video. Or you can sit here quietly, listen. Sometimes she'll speak to you through sensations. I've noticed a lot of people will feel the touch on the shoulder or the head. That feels more like a skeletal hand. Don't trip out, you good. That's a good thing. Sometimes you'll hear a whisper or you'll see flashing images. Mm-hmm. Or just have that sensation of almost like being home. Almost like a hug. That's the most common for me. Whenever you first met up with her, what was it like?
Well, when I first met up with her, it was through when I was doing shamanic ceremonies for people, and they made offerings to her or promises to her, and they never kept their part of the bargain. So she shows up, and I'm like, "Oh, it's you! Hey, you know." And I would talk to her just like I would talk to any other spirit. And I'm like, "So why are you picking on this person?" And she's just like, she made they wanted something. I gave it to them, but they didn't keep their part of the bargain. They never gave me my offering. I'm like, okay, so what was the offering? And she would tell me what the offering was. One particular person said that he would get a tattoo of her image, on them. So long as they were to bring back somebody that they loved and everything like that who had wandered away from them. So they didn't keep that offering. And so she caused a bunch of problems for them. He had problems with drugs. He was getting arrested. He'd walk down the street and he would get pulled over by a cop. It was weird. He would, get into near car accidents all the time. He couldn't hold a job. And so I told him, and I was like, okay, she says that you were supposed to give her an offering of a tattoo, but you didn't keep it. So that's on you, dude. And then, they're like, okay, yeah, I promise I'll get it. And I was like, until you do it, then you're going to have nothing but problems. That's what she tells me. That's a bargain between you two. I'm just a mediator. And so she did that a couple of other times where she showed up. We were actually doing a house cleansing probably a few months ago, where somebody had set up an altar to her, but they didn't close the portals. And they would see like this orb of light downstairs where the altar used to be at upstairs, and we could see where all the statues were and everything.
It was a really gorgeous altar, though, when it was there.
Yeah, and so when we went over there, we closed the portals, and she bounced out. So we're like, okay, that's cool. Bo just says hi, everybody. And other times, too, when we're sitting outside, when Anthony and I first got together, he worked with her, and, that was one of my experiences, so it was a little bit intimidating being around her a little bit, but, she was good by me, and she let me know she was good by me. Because she would show up in the doorways and just stand there. I'd wake up and I'd see her standing in the doorway, and I was like, hey, girl. She, and when we would do offerings, and she would channel information through me. She would talk to me, and then I'd tell Anthony what was going on, and her information was very accurate and precise. Mm-hmm. But yeah, she gets along with the other deities and the other shrines and everything. But she has to have her own specific space. Mm-hmm. She can't be
share spaces.
Yeah, you don't put her on an altar with other deities or entities, and you don't substitute her to represent other aspects of other deities. Like, you don't want to use her image to represent the Gede or
you don't want to use her. Yeah, no.
Oh. Yeah, no. You'll end up with
so many arguments with people.
Yeah, you'll end up with life problems like that. And she is a cool deity, and you're like, I do want to work with her, but I don't want to set up another shrine to her. If you're not willing to set up another shrine, then don't do it. Mm-hmm. She requires her own spot. Yes. She is in the closet in our, in our huge walk-in closet, mm-hmm. and she even has her own spot in there, mm-hmm. with all of her stuff, and we keep it separate from everything else.
Exactly. But she's very protective of mm-hmm. those who pray to her. Whether you're a worker with her or a devotee to her, she is very protective. She does bestow a lot of blessings. It's just a matter of you keeping that relationship with her on a positive note. Mm-hmm. I've seen some people who say that they turn her statue upside down because they're not getting something that they want from her. And I'm just like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't do that. Trying to punish a deity, good luck. Yeah. And a lot of people will get mad if I say that she's a deity. But to me, she's shown me that she is the modern incarnation of the Aztec deity, Mictecacicua, who's the lady of the land of the dead. The land of the dead is Mictlan. The god over the dead was Mictlantecacicua, or her consort.
And so I've seen some people who do documentaries on it, and they get the two mixed up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's just the way that Bruja in Albuquerque taught me, mm-hmm. was that it was Mictecacicua, and Mictlantecacicua was the Lord, because he took the land of the dead took its name after him, and their names are very similar. I can't speak Aztec, so I'm not going to go into the etymology.
Yeah. But she's a cool deity. If you do decide to work with her, then she needs her own space. Mm-hmm. Be respectful. She can't be in another altar room with other entities.
And also everything that we share is from our own personal experiences, whether it's from me practicing with her or his experience with her just being around or with clients. It's not something that we read in a book and we're suddenly like, oh yeah, well, according to this source and this source and this source, this is what it is. This is just what's come to us. We're not trying to claim historical references or anything like that. It's just the way that I've done it. Mm-hmm. And so far, she hasn't gotten mad at me, so I'm just going to assume I'm on a good end.
Yeah. The only time he's gotten in trouble is when he didn't do offerings.
Yeah. Yeah, like we said, don't be lazy.
Mm-hmm. So we'll probably leave the candles to stay up, set up to stay up for now, while mm-hmm. the incense and candle burn. And then we'll put her back in where we keep her normally.
Yeah, the box that she's on is actually from her main shrine. And that has specific dirts as well as herbs mixed in. very specifically, and they've been in there for a long time.
Oops, that was me.
Mm-hmm. You dropping? No, you just move stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you have other questions or requests, let us know. If you need any Santisima Muerte oil, let us know. Or anything else like that.
Nope. Quick question, so. What has been your experience working with other deities and having her, working with her at the same time?
As long as I keep them separate, there hasn't been any bad experiences. Mm-hmm. It's more of a respect between not only her, but also the other deity that you're working with. Learning to understand that they're not the same being. Learning that even though they have similar aspects, they are very, very, very different. And trying to call her by another name is not going to be helpful to you. Give her the respect that she deserves for her own name.
Mm-hmm. What about other offerings like food and fruit?
When giving offerings of fruit, I usually recommend apples, bananas, oranges. Lemons can work, but I've noticed she likes oranges better, as well as papayas. Really sweet fruits, strawberries and cherries are good too. I've heard of some people giving her Pepsi. AKA us.
Yeah, she liked Pepsi.
Yeah. She was down for cherry Pepsi. I remember we got her like a 2 liter before.
Yeah, she did. She was really down for that. She also likes tequila.
Mm-hmm.
She don't like vodka.
She does not. She does not really care for rum either or wine.
She does not like red wine at all. I gave an offering of red wine to her one night.
She didn't touch it. She's like, nope.
Yeah, it wouldn't evaporate. We do tequila. It evaporates very quick.
Mm-hmm. Water is fine. Cherry Pepsi, tequila. I haven't tried bourbon. I've given her Jack Daniels before. She wasn't super crazy about it, but it did evaporate, so I'm going to say it's better than wine. Candy. She likes chocolate. I noticed she likes Snickers.
Mm-hmm. Classy lady.
Mm-hmm. You can give offerings of cigarettes.
Yeah, some people will give pot.
Mm-hmm. If you do that, hopefully you have your card.
Or it's legal in your state.
Yeah, exactly. Trying to think of what else. Some people have given burned offerings. Some people also cook full meals. I've given rice. I give a lot of grain whenever I give her offerings, and I'll cover that in honey with apples and roses. If you give roses, you can give white roses, red roses, really any roses, but reds are customary. If you're giving apples, you can offer a petition with it. Red apples for love and general well-being, green apples for money, and so on and so forth. If you give incense, I prefer to recommend giving her a rose incense for any aspect, kind of like an all-purpose. If you're going with the white, more floral, such as lavender, gardenia, jasmine. Red is a little bit more like a love spell scent, or something like that, such as roses. Roses overall is pretty much what I've used, but I'm trying to think of another scent that I've used before with the red, because typically I would just jump to rose.
Yeah.
And then with the black, things like musk, black copal. You could use white copal as well for all three aspects. If you're going to correlate it, the white copal with the white aspect, gold copal with the red, and black copal with the black. Pretty down to earth. Literally.
Other questions. Placement of her altar.
I haven't heard anything bad, whether it's at a northern wall, eastern, southern, or western wall, or if it's in the center of a room. The important thing is that you show respect and give the offerings and show your love, your gratitude for what's happening. Though typically, due to like my inner witch thinking, I would recommend the western wall, because that is the quarter that usually gets assigned to chthonic and death energies. I can understand some people are going to be like, chthonic's in the north, but with me, the dead have always gone to the west.
What about the room that you place her in?
Don't have sex in it, and don't put it in a bathroom. That's rude.
And don't ever have other deities in there.
If they're in the same room, as long as they're separate, like across the room from each other, is what I would recommend, if you must.
Yeah, because we're in our main temple, and everybody seems chill.
Yeah, it's only like...
Because everyone's on their own table.
Yeah, everyone has their own altar. But, like, if they're in the same room, I'd recommend keeping, like, at least 3 feet away from the end of each altar, at the minimum. But if you can put her in her own room, it can be in the living room. Just be ready if anyone has questions, and that they don't disrespect her, even if they're not working with her. Just because she is a lady and she deserves respect. If you disrespect her, or if someone else does in your home,
She can slap you like the lady she is.
it might not even be you, but she will ensure that she gets her just desserts.
How long should offerings stay on the altar?
I usually say 3 days if it's like a food at most, and then get rid of it. Some people say you should bury it. I make sure that all the energy's off, and then I'll ask her if it's okay. And if she says yeah, then I'll put it in the trash because all the energy's already out of it.
Now, when she communicates with you, how does that work?
Usually it started out with a sensation. I notice my clairaudience picks up a lot more whenever I'm working with her specifically, and so does my clairvoyance. And so that's what I've noticed with her, and that's where you get the sign. Like, she'll either, like, you'll see a hand. I've had, like, the no finger before, and I've seen, like, her head go up and down, like, yes. Or sometimes you'll see her statues change in the faces and the hands, and it's almost like you see her head move, like, saying yes.
It's really cool when it happens, when you get used to working with her. It's scary, but cool. Yeah, we saw it happen with just a couple of our other deity shrines the past few times. Other questions are, how do you know she doesn't like an offering?
Aside from it possibly getting thrown off an altar, which has happened, or the altar getting caught on fire, it'll sit there and it'll either rot, unless you know that this is an offering she likes, then that means it absorbed something funky from you. As a trade-off, she absorbed it for you so that way you wouldn't take the hit. Or it just won't change. It'll sit there, grow solid, or it'll just start to stink. Or when you walk by, you'll get the really queen kind of feeling coming off of it. Or she'll flat out tell you, like in a dream, like, move that off the altar.
What was I going to say? Now, opening rituals.
Opening rituals, with her, the most I've done is sprinkle holy water around, or followed by like Siete Machos or Florida water to cleanse the area, and then I would just open up with 3 Our Fathers following an invocation to her. It's nothing too elaborate.
Do you have anything to say in closing?
If you're going to work with her and then you decide like 3 days later, nah, don't throw her in a closet, that's rude. No one should live in a closet, ask Harry Potter.
Right. So, I think that is it that we have for today, for this video. If you have any questions, send us an email at totembroom@gmail.com.
Or on
like,
our Facebook
comment,
page.
subscribe, and remember that this practice is going to vary from books to what other people say. So
As well as to region too.
Yeah, so everybody works with her differently.
I'm from New Mexico, so it's going to be very different or not completely, because the woman who was relaying information for me when I started back in Albuquerque was from Mexico. As far as the region, I don't remember, but I kind of mixed it with my own practice, but not to the point where I was mixing up entire traditions, just basic spell work with it.
So, okay, we will see you guys next time. Hope you enjoy the video. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And if you have any questions, always email us at totembroom@gmail.com or send us a Facebook message on our Facebook Messenger. Okay? So, talk to you guys later.
Bye.